This is the Walk-Thru, powered by Triple F Elite Sports Training. Train like a pro. Your all-access pass to the biggest games, hottest stories, and everything high school football in East Tennessee. From the Friday night lights to the chase for championships, we bring you the stars, the headlines, and every heart-pounding moment. So strap on that chin strap and get ready. Jesse, Paige, and the 5-Star Preps team are here with the most complete high school football coverage in the state. This is the Walk-Thru.
Welcome into the Walk-Thru. It's week 7, playoff seeding starting to take shape. We have one really nice interview coming up, a current Tennessee running back. You'll want to stay tuned for that, but right now it's Paige, Dauer, Jesse, Smithey, presented by Triple F, and of course in the midst of a Bible study right behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. Faith is such a big part of what they do at Triple F, and every Monday night there's pizza, there's a bunch of kids, high school, male, female, all in there learning about their walk and their journey with Jesus and their faith in God, and it's pretty cool. It's not just all about sports here. They're developing young men and young women in all aspects of life, and that's one of the special things that I love about Triple F. That's why we partner with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit of a tease to that interview we're coming up against later today. First, let's look back to week 6.
Wild week.
I know there was like overtimes, close games, double overtimes.
Yeah.
It was absolutely insane. And we could start with Powell and Central. Great win for Powell. And it's really impressive when everyone knows it's going to go to the quarterback in Deuce Rogers. But it becomes even more impressive when he still gets it done and the entire stadium knows it's going to him.
That game was billed as dual threat quarterback versus dual threat quarterback. And that's exactly what happened. And like you mentioned, they know what's coming. They couldn't stop it. They know what Caden Long's going to do with Central. They couldn't stop it. And every time Deuce Rogers made some huge play and it created a 14-point lead for Powell, here came Caden Long making another play, cutting it to 7. Central scored late. Kicked the onside kick. Powell just able to recover that and seal the deal. Now, a lot of people talking about possible rematch in the 5A playoffs, much like we used to get with Powell and West year after year. So we'll see if that transpires. 5A is super deep this year. If they do find a way to rematch, they're going to have to earn it.
Yes, Farragut and Bearden, close game, 25-21 your final. What did we learn about the Admirals?
Well, they didn't play well, and they came out and played well, and I think they kind of took their foot off the gas because Bearden was winless and kind of down on their luck, and they went out there and they took a 14-0 lead, 10-0 lead, 14-0 lead, something like that, and it's just like, okay, we're going to coast the rest of this game, and Bearden said, not so fast.
Yeah,
they had some guys getting hurt.
Yeah.
They moved some guys around in certain positions and were able to manufacture some offense. And that's what happens in rivalry games. That was a Bearden team that wanted to win in the worst way, and it showed. And we'll see if Bearden kind of parlay that into some life here later in the season. But Farragut got that region win, and now they're in a possible position to lock down a playoff spot. Still some work to go, but they've bettered their position, and that's what this kind of month of October is all about.
Another one-possession game. We could go to Carter and Heritage, which was a good-fought battle by Central for sure, but for Carter.
Yeah, absolutely. Heritage took the lead late in that game. It looked like the Mountaineers are going to win that region. We talked about how fun this Region 2 4A is every week, and it's just given us all these great matchups. And then Brody Sparks came back down and led them to a touchdown pass, and it was funny. His receiver told us at 5-Star Preps that I was in the huddle. I told Brody Sparks, do not throw me the football. And it's like, man, you're supposed to be the guy as a receiver. You want the ball, but he's not their main receiver, I think. But still, and Brody's like, I'm going to you. You better be ready. And he threw it to him, and the guy was kind of backpedaling, and it landed. And it was such a great moment. And that's why we go out and tell these stories for everybody. It's not just always the highlights.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays on Instagram, it's okay. Yeah, he caught the touchdown pass. Well, let's get that extra story behind it, and that's what we bring at 5-Star Preps, and that's what we love doing.
Yeah, another great story, too, at 5starpreps.com, if you haven't already subscribed, was the CAK and Webb game. CAK saw what Grace did, and they're like, all right, we'll do that as well. The ground game, the Spartans just could not stop that. You go to the running back for CAK and Ryan Gibson. He had 221 yards and a couple of touchdowns to go with it.
That was a running back, Ryan Gibson, who ran for about 1,500 yards at Seymour a year ago, and he's a power back much like JV Stinson is for Grace, kind of big body build, and they just pounded him all game long. Now they do have some other running backs that they use, but the blueprint wasn't hard to find. As you mentioned, it was right there in that Grace game, and you try your luck at it, and their luck was just fine. So I'm, on the picks last week, I gave Webb one final chance. That was their final chance. And I want to invite people to get on 5starpreps.com this week and check out that game story, CAK at Webb. Scroll down to the bottom and read what Shavar Young had to say. In this era of me first players and NIL, he gave a really profound answer about why he's still trying as hard as he is, why he's still playing for his team, his faith and what pushes him. And that's a guy that's going to go play big time college football at Clemson, and he's had everybody in the world after him. And for him to still have that mentality was, for me, refreshing, because I don't see it much anymore.
No, and it's probably because of the landscape kind of dictates that as well. We can move on to Halls and West. It's one of our first of our 2 overtime matchups. This one going to the wire, and it's actually interesting when you hear from some of the players talking about, like, this game kind of for Halls, like, put us on the map a little bit. Yeah, they were 0-3, right, going into that bye week, and now they've come back out and kind of repositioned themselves. Again, we talked about during their bye week, just because they're 0-3 doesn't mean the season's lost. Sure.
Win a couple region games and you're right back in the thick of things. And with this new playoff system that we'll talk about on later shows coming up closer to the end of the season, they're going to have a chance, if they can get past that first round, to kind of really maneuver their way through this new bracket system. So everything's not lost for Halls, and they won that big game. Parker Critton made a big field goal, clutch field goal there in overtime. He also made a 48-yarder earlier in the game. So a big time win for Halls there.
Yes. Then our second overtime game, and it's second because it also was double overtime as well. This was Sevier County in Greenville, and it ended up being another one possession game, 30-27 for the Smoky Bears.
One of the wildest games I can remember. Just turnovers, big plays, blocked field goals, return for touchdowns, head scratching kind of moments where you're like, what's going on? Why are they choosing to do this on both sides? And it was just, again, 2 mirroring programs of just pure class and grit and hustle, and that's why they played that game mid-season, because they want to get better. And they want to kind of light that fire for this final push of the regular season in both teams, and I think they're going to both accomplish that. There were great moments for both teams, and then there were moments like, we cannot do this against good teams that we're going to face in the 4A or 5A playoffs. So Sevier County got that end around to Bryson Hedrick there in the overtime to get the win. But there were moments for Sevier County that were teaching moments for them that we'll see if they can get better from.
Yeah, a lot of this will propel us into week 7. When we come back, we have a really special interview coming up and what week 7 looks like for the area teams. We'll be right back.
A matchup of undefeated teams here as we have met the halfway point of the high school football season. Tonight from Sevier County High School, it is the Smoky Bears of Sevier County, defending 5A state champions, taking on the number 3 rated team in 4A, the 5-0 Greenville Green Devils. Bishop next to him, fake the give to Bishop. Looking left, looking across the middle to the end zone. Touchdown! Back to clarity. Will pull it down and run it himself. Slips through traffic, has it across the 50. Through traffic to the 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Dives for the pylon. Is he in? He is! Touchdown, Greenville! Touchdown, Caden Baugh! Shotgun snap, rolls out to his right. Looking long downfield. He has a man open in the end zone. It is caught! A diving catch for Bryson Hedrick! And the Smoky Bears have struck! Snap, set, kick, blocked! It is blocked and room to run! picked up at the 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 15, 10, 5 to the house. Wyatt Maples, the blocked kick return for a touchdown. Run this whole way though. Baugh back, looking long, downfield, has a man open at the 5, at the 3, in the end zone. Touchdown, Taryn Clarity. Parker Newman by himself to the left side. They will turn. They will run the reverse to Hedrick, to the 5, to the end zone. Make it 20 in a row. A walk-off overtime victory for Sevier County.
Let's go, baby, undefeated.
The Film Room is presented by Smart Bank. Play smart, bank smart. Smart Bank. For more information, visit smartbank.com.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Welcome back into the Walk-Thru. Still to come, a really special interview with a current Tennessee running back before we get there. We need to put the spotlight somewhere else. And you talk about what momentum can do, Jesse. It might help you get another win, and that's exactly what happened with Sunbright.
Absolutely. Win number 2 on the season, and winless last year, and winless for many games before that. And Sunbright is a program that we don't get to talk about too much, so whenever they get a win, I want to give them a shout out. So Sunbright Tigers, keep posting those W's. We're going to give you some shout out love here on the show.
And it's really nice when an entire program can get together, effort a win that way. And it's another one when it efforts to a program record, which South Doyle did just last week.
Yeah, they did. They scored 76 points in that win over
Insane.
Union County, and got a message from somebody with their program said, hey, this was a record for us. So whenever stuff like that happens, do want to acknowledge it. That's a milestone or some type of accomplishment, a plateau you crew. So shout out South Doyle Cherokees, and again, what L.A. Hedrick's done out there to change the culture, take your lumps during that culture changing time, and then now to experience these wins, it's got to be gratifying.
Oh, definitely. Very rewarding. And maybe some rewards to come here in week 7 as we look at a couple of our matchups. First, we can start with Grace and Boyd Buchanan. Does Grace continue what they did last week? I know they're just off of a loss, but do they bounce back?
So in that loss, one of their players, top players, got ejected, and so I don't know if Grace is going to appeal that and get him eligible for this game with Boyd Buchanan, but that's definitely something to watch when they go down there. Now, Boyd Buchanan is coached by Gary Rankin, of course. He won so many championships and so many wins at Alcoa High School, and he has built Boyd Buchanan into a championship caliber program.
They're averaging 45 points a game.
Yeah, so you don't want to go on the road without one of your top guys if you're Grace Christian, but still, we've talked about how hard Grace Christian plays without Terrion Thomas, their running back, and without Daria at quarterback, and now they might be without one of their top stars on offense, and without him last week, they still almost won that football game against a big-time power over in North Carolina. So I'm never going to count out Grace Christian, but definitely keep an eye on that going into week 7.
And then kicking off the weekend for us, it's William Blount at Heritage. It's a Thursday game. What can we expect, Jesse?
It's the Battle of the Bell. Are you familiar with the Battle of the Bell?
Okay,
it's just one of those, ceremonial trophies that they have on the sideline, and it's a really big deal. I love that it's out of the spotlight of the Alcoa Maryville game. They used to kind of play those games simultaneously during the same week, 2 big rivalry games in Blount County and fill up both stadiums. But with Alcoa and Maryville playing week 1, now we have a chance to really put the spotlight on this.
Yeah.
It'll be a TV game, and I think a lot of people will be able to get to see that. So you got 2 coaches that are fiery guys, and it's going to be a hotly contested game, and Battle of the Bell is going to be where it's at Thursday night. Check it out.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. The next game we could go to is Jefferson County versus Dobbins-Bennett. And Jeffco, they are coming off a massive win last week.
Right. Well, you let off the show talking about jockeying for region standings, and I think people kind of forgot about how Jefferson County has really been a good program under Spencer Riley over the last few seasons, and they got a huge win. They put an absolute beat down on a very good Science Hill team last week. And now,
31-6.
Now, if they win this game against Dobbins-Bennett, they're right there in the driver's seat in Region 1-6A. So they are always going to run the football and play really good, sound defense at Jefferson County, and that's exactly what they did in that win.
Yeah, and it's going to be a really interesting matchup with Dobbins-Bennett because between the head coaches, Spencer Riley is 2-5 against Dobbins-Bennett.
I like their chances this week. I really like their chances. I've been told that this isn't like a dominant Dobbins-Bennett team. It's very gettable, very beatable. Supposedly, Science Hill was supposed to be better than Dobbins-Bennett this year, so kind of said, well, Jefferson County smacked Science Hill around.
Yeah, you could do like the UCF thing in 2017 when they won the national championship.
Right, so I'm a Jeff Colleen in that one.
Okay, I love that. And then Central McMinn County.
Kind of a different matchup,
yes,
right? This is a game of 2 5A teams that I think we're going to see in the postseason. Who knows? Maybe they end up playing against each other at some point. McMinn County down there in Region 3, though, Central in Region 2. But I wonder about Central playing this game so close after the Powell game where you spent so much energy and so much effort, and you go down to face a McMinn County team that absolutely loves defense, and they can run the football physical, and they have got this new component to their offense called passing this year. Normally, McMinn County is just run heavy, sound in the kicking game, get after it defensively, and they have thrown for over 1,500 yards already this year. So a complete McMinn County football team that we've seen in the postseason quite a bit lately.
Yeah, and before we get into our special interview, we got a couple more previews to look at. HVA and Farragut. Who has the pressure, Jesse?
Well, we've talked about Farragut getting that win over Beard and having new life, a pulse to their playoff outlook. If they win this game, they're kind of right there in that number 4 slot.
Yes.
Same thing goes for Hard Valley. We had their head coach out on the show last week, and they are excited about their chances going into the second half of the season. So that's what's on the line between this HVA Farragut game. It doesn't solidify a number 4 spot, but it puts them on that kind of ladder rung with some big games left to play. So keep an eye on HVA Farragut.
And what should we keep an eye on when we go to Baylor and McCallie?
Just one of the better high school rivalries. I mean, it has no bearing on anything up here, but you're talking about videos on social media, diss tracks, all kinds of great preview videos, and it's just so much college football talent. We talked last week about McCallie going out to California and knocking off the number 6 team in the country, and Baylor's just loaded with Division I talent. So if you want to peek outside the perimeters of East Tennessee down in the Chattanooga area, keep an eye out on that game.
Yeah, that'll be a good one for sure. And what else to keep an eye on is the interview we have coming up after this. We'll be right back.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Welcome back into the Walk-Thru, presented by Triple F. Jesse Smithey joined by Deshaun Bishop, former Carnes High School great, 2-time Mr. Football, and now Tennessee Volunteers running back. Been a while since you joined us on the set. We were talking before we started on. We used to do a show called 5 Star Live, and we would broadcast from Carnes High School, and you would join us after the games, and life's changed a little bit for you. Just first off, just how are things going for you at Tennessee, obviously?
Things at Tennessee is a blessing, honestly. Just the processing I had to go through just to get here, just in front of you, you know, and the way I'm playing on the field and off the field, it truly is a blessing. I've been through a lot, you know. I remember my days at Carnes and got introduced to the SEC quickly, you know, dealing with injuries and whatnot. But man, just stayed the course, you know, trusting in him, trusted the process, and it's brought me here.
I want to talk about that process in just a moment, but you're coming off an unbelievable game there at Mississippi State. You score the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Tons of Vol fans on the road. Can you tell me what that moment was like for you?
Man, that's an unreal moment. Just to enjoy that moment was honestly a blessing. You know, the Lord was paving that way through the whole game. You know, it came down to the wire. You know, and He put the ball in my hands and I made a play. Very grateful. You know, just to see the support I have back at home, man. Like my phone was ringing the whole night, all the way back to Starfield. It still is. You know, and I've been watching that play over and over, and it feels good, you know, because that's what I was used to doing at Carnes, and like through that game, it felt like I knew it was coming. Like I knew that moment was coming. Like I just knew it, and I just stayed patient, trusted my track, trusted my vision, trusted what I saw, and made a play that was a difference. And just the fans, you know, we have one of the best fan bases in the country. You know, they traveled every game. You know, and there's a pig that servicing around that in the background. It was a straight orange, you know, and it may look like a home game if you weren't paying attention to the game. But shout out to them, man. They support us well, and we appreciate them deeply.
When that play was called for you, what are you looking for? And when you kind of went around left end and it kind of opened up, I mean, what did you see when you kind of got around the line?
Man, just trusted what I saw. You know, pressed it. As soon as I got the ball, like honestly, I really saw the hole before the play was even happening. You know, and got the ball, took a quick peek out to my left side, and there it was. Saw it, hit it, made one guy miss, and the rest was history. That's so much I can say.
Yeah. You did such great things at Carnes. You know, got them to the playoffs, won playoff games that hadn't really been done in forever at Carnes, a two-time Mr. Football, over 8,000 rushing yards. And when you made that jump to the SEC, how startling was it for you to go from high school campus where you're the main dog to going back to trying to fight for playing time?
I say it definitely humbled me, you know, because you're the man at your place, and now you're in a room in an area where everybody was the man at their place, you know. So I say the process really humbled me because, especially going in as a walk-on, you know, I didn't really understand that there's a lot of guys that were already being pushed over me, you know, how to earn my way up to that starting spot that I'm in now. And the injuries honestly set me back a little bit too, you know, dealing with that. And I just say for the people that are coming in, you know, stay hungry, never get complacent with yourself, because I promise you the day you do that, someone's going to end up passing you. There's guys, they want that spot. You know, there's a lot of guys in my room, there's guys around, I'm sure, that are coming in out of high school that want to the spot I'm in, you know. So you got to do whatever you got to do to hold on to your spot and not allow anybody to take it from you, because as much as you got to that spot, it could quickly be gone, you know. So appreciate the moment, appreciate the grind, and just always have a good work ethic. Like, hard work always pays off. I mean, I'm gonna brag on myself a little bit, but like, I mean, you see it, it's paid off, you know, just day in, day out. The days I don't want to get up, the days I don't want to do what I have to do, you know, to put me in the best position to succeed, not only on the football field, but in life, you know, because football teaches you a lot of life lessons. You know, you can take a lot of this stuff that you encounter with in football and apply it to the real world. And the real world is, man, that ain't got nothing. The real world is way worse than anything football can put at you, you know. And just the perseverance, you know, man. I say a big key was find your purpose. You know, my purpose is in my faith. You know, and I push everybody to seek through the Lord, because He is the way. You know, the Lord has got me to this spot right now. You know, got me to the moment in Mississippi, and got me to the moments even before Mississippi. You know, and it shows that when you lean on Him, He paves the way. You know, and He's made the path clear. And I don't know where I'd be without Him. I know I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we do this show out here at Triple F on Monday nights, and then there's always a Bible study going on with young kids in high school, learning and developing their faith. When did it happen for you, though? Because I've noticed on social media you're much more vocal and open about your journey with God and Jesus. And when did that become such a pivotal part of your life?
I really say it got when I got hurt. Man, that really put me through a tough situation, because ball took it away from me. I had no idea who I was. Like, and was doing a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. And honestly hit rock bottom, you know, and from a guy that felt like he was at the top, instantly in a couple of months was the lowest of the low, you know, and the Lord grabbed a hold of me and he changed my life forever, you know, and I trusted with him even when it was hard, you know, because it was new to me. You know, I feel like I was a Christian in high school, but there's a difference between a Christian and being a follower, you know, and as I go in this process now in my walk, I'm a follower of Christ, and that's what he showed me, and I invested into that and reap the benefits of doing that too. And man, it satisfied me so much, man. I find really peace in just him. He's created that peace that has allowed me to succeed on and off the field.
It's an amazing story because, I mean, I've been covering high school sports and college sports and whatnot for 20 some odd years, and I can tell a ton of stories about kids that I covered that went to college and adversity hit. And the next thing you know, they're back home or they've totally given up. As you mentioned, I mean, there were some dark days probably when you're already a walk-on. As you mentioned, you're behind some guys and then football's taken away from you. It can be a kind of a lonely place, right?
It is, and I mean, the Lord comforted me through those lonely times, man, because, you know, the support I had, I feel like everybody loved me. As soon as the ball was gone, nobody hit your phone anymore. Nobody wants to hang out with you. Like, there's none of that anymore. And God realized that people are only there for that stuff, and I'm here regardless of if you were successful in football or not, you know. And I'm very appreciative of that, and I'm very grateful that He gave the sport back to me, and He made it 10 times better than what I had it, you know. And that's crazy. It's coming a lot that people would think it couldn't get much better than what I was doing, but it did. And what I say to you, man, like, you can't find peace in the things of this world. And the more that people look and try to find, like, it will never satisfy you. You only can find peace in the Lord, and He's the light in me, you know, and it shines bright throughout throughout not only this community but through the world, you know, because I'm sure this is getting a vocal point out there, and I'm just very grateful that I found it when I could.
Yeah. Been awesome to watch your journey in football as well. And last year, I think you scored your first career touchdown. And
Yes, sir.
And to have your first career touchdown in Neyland Stadium, can you take me back to that moment, kind of what it was like?
I dreamed of it, man. I didn't know how much I would play that season. Obviously, coming off the injury, and I was just waiting on my time. You know, I knew when I got my time, I'd make it count. And one of my last carries was a touchdown, and man, it was just such an unreal feeling. You know, especially having my family watch that in the stadium. You know, because they were just excited as I was. You know, probably even more excited than me. You know, and just know that it came from a kid that apparently that people thought I wouldn't honestly play him that much to even score. That was even crazy. You know, that guy had those plans for me lined up.
One of the couple more things with you, and one of the things I've always wanted to ask you is how you adjusted your running style and what you had to tweak about your running style, if anything, to adjust to a college offense. You have a unique running style, and I've always told it it's a patient running style. It's not just, bam, I'm going to go hit this whole 100 miles an hour and then cut. And I mean, you have a patient running style, but what did you have to tweak, and that way you can get on the field and still produce?
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. I probably even got more patient because, man, those holes, like, there's a lot of stuff happening between that line of scrimmage, you know. And I feel like once you get past the line of scrimmage, I mean, the rest is history. It's just being you. You know, it's being detailed and being, like, just consistent with yourself. You know, I work on my run tracks a lot, you know, and just doing the small stuff that people don't think that is important. You know, watching extra film, you know, studying guys, how they fit this guy, what stunts they like to run and stuff like that, man. There's a lot that goes into it, but honestly, deep down inside it really just going out there being you, you know, trusting who you are, trusting your eyes, trusting your tracks, you know, trusting the guys up front that's going to clear up for you because you can't do it without them, honestly. And just running hard, you know, running hard makes up for a lot of stuff, you know. Yeah. I know people in this league, they don't like people that run hard, you know. I'm one of those dudes that run hard. Obviously, if you saw on Saturday, you know, that run is what it's like, you know, and just being patient, you know. I know it may look like it's muddy, but eventually you keep coming hard, you keep coming, it'll open up. And just trusting the process in that and just being who you are and trusting who you are.
You've kind of hinted at it a couple times during this interview, but there are a lot of high school kids that watch this show, or parents of high school kids who want their kids to play at the next level. What's the biggest adjustment they're going to have to make going to college? Is it just learning college offenses, as you talked about, reading defenses, studying film? Like, or is it just overall effort? People describe it as a job.
I mean, it is a job, especially now with the NIL circuit and how that works. You know, like, people paying all this money, man, they're gonna want you to perform for what they're giving you, you know. And I honestly, I feel like it's really just doing the things that people don't want to do. You know, how committed are you to this? Like, are you just wanting to play ball, or are you obsessed with playing ball? Mm-hmm. You know, and there's a lot of stuff that goes around campus. You know, you got people going out, you got people participating in crazy stuff. You know, I got people drinking, smoking weed, like all that other stuff. Like, can you honestly sacrifice doing all that, you know, for what you want out of this, you know? And I really think that's what it comes down to, the guys that are good and the guys that are great, you know, because there's a lot of good athletes out there that participate in this stuff, and the great ones aren't worried about this stuff and they're only focused on ball. I know it's not easy to do, because all your boys, all your friends are probably out there doing that stuff, and you want to participate in that, and they may think you're like better than them for not participating in that, you know? And I just say, man, it's the sacrifices you got to make, you know, because you'll reap the benefits at the end of the day, because you'll be so far ahead of people, because while they're out wasting their time on the weekends, you're getting better. Mm-hmm. And you got to do that every single day. Every day you wake up, you know that God has a plan for you, and God wants you to be better. And God is working towards you being who you want to be. You know, you're not going to see the progress on day one. You might not see it in a month. You might not see it in a year, but you know that you're stacking those days, and that you're confident in yourself that you're doing what you're supposed to do to get where you want to be. And just sitting in these seats right here, man, it's a blessing. You know, you can't take that for granted. Yeah,
definitely. Well, Deshaun, man, I appreciate you coming down and joining us on the show. It's an honor to have you and to hear your story, and hopefully, you know, change some people's lives that might be watching here tonight. And I know it's fun for me to keep up with you and tweet out Mr. Football and Carnes and all that when you score. So we'll definitely be watching you in the weeks ahead.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it.
All right. That's Deshaun Bishop, former Carnes great and Tennessee running back. Don't go anywhere. We got much more to come right here on the Walk-Thru.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Room is presented by Smart Bank. Play smart, bank smart. Smart Bank. For more information, visit smartbank.com.
Well, that was a fantastic interview with Deshaun Bishop, somebody you have followed throughout his entire high school career, and just seeing the evolution of the Tennessee running back. What blew you away most looking and talking to this version of Deshaun Bishop?
Well, we've all seen him share his faith publicly on social media, so I knew he was going to come in and talk about his faith, and I wanted him to. And again, faith is a big part of Triple F and what we do as well, and my life, and so I wanted him to share that. But there was also part of me that while he is talking felt like a proud father, because I do cover these young men in high school, and I love their journey on the field, but I also love to watch them grow into young men and be able to articulate their thoughts. And because oftentimes when you're in high school and you're being interviewed, you're nervous and you're afraid that you're going to say something where your friends might make fun of you and laugh at you. But now he's been thrust into the spotlight at Tennessee, and there's cameras in his face all the time, and there's interviews going on all the time, and he's much more comfortable there. And so that's the part of me being in the media, seeing the jump from high school to college, because I know what he could do on the field. It was just a matter of time. So just to see him grow into a young man, I can't imagine what his coaches, his family feels like seeing him transform this way to not only big-time contributor in SEC football, but a man of faith.
Yeah, absolutely, and someone who can certainly serve as a role model for younger athletes and younger people as well. So if you're looking for somebody to look up to, Deshaun Bishop might be a good start.
Give me an 18 jersey.
Yes, exactly. As we transition into our game picks this week, there's really a lot to love for Week 7 and the implications and the seedings that are all on the line. And really, if you want to start with Clinton and West, I think that'll be a really good matchup. Clinton just got their first win of the season just the other day, too.
Yeah, I ran into them earlier this week at the Knoxville Quarterback Club, and Bryson Maddox, their big receiver, who, by the way, set the program record for all-time receiving yards, and that's no surprise. He was our leading receiver in 5-star preps last year, but he even said the word, "We can't lose anymore. If we want to make the playoffs, we can't lose anymore." And I think West probably feels the same way. All these games matter. The pool is deeper in their region. They have to win these games. West, I thought, came to life a little bit in that loss to Central, and they've kind of built and built and built. They're never going to throw for 300 or 400 yards in a game. That's not what they do, but they're going to have to lock down Clinton's pass game in this matchup somehow. I'm going to take West High School to win this.
Okay.
They're not dead yet, even though there's been the coaching change and everything's kind of gone awry. I like West High School. There's still some angry defenders out there for them, and I think they get enough run game production to get this win.
Okay, I like that. The next one is William Blount at Heritage. What's interesting about this matchup is between the head coaches, Joe Ossifit with Heritage actually leads the series 2-1.
Yeah.
Does that continue?
Yeah, I don't know. This is, again, last week was a coin flip game for me between Heritage and Carter. This game is a coin flip game for me.
And Heritage
Give
is involved
me
in it.
Dabrowski at quarterback and Aiden Klein, that kind of 1-2 combo for William Blount. This is going to be a physical football game, a fun football game. I love this rivalry game. We're going to be out there to cover it, photos, video, so much more, but give me the Govs.
Okay, I love it. And then we have Halls and Carnes. We mentioned what the quarterback for Halls said a little while ago, Amari Lethgo, and he said that win over Powell was, quote, really big. Does that momentum carry to Carnes?
Yeah. Number one to watch for Carnes, Cameron George, their running back, sophomore, a guy that's been up for Player of the Week, and I'm not going to compare him yet to Deshaun Bishop, but I love his ability as an underclassman at this point. They have capable guys in their wide receiver game and a capable quarterback. But I think Halls is hungry again, and they feel like they can fight and win again. They've got a couple wins under the belt now, and so give me the Red Devils to win that football game. I think they've figured some things out, and they'll win going forward.
Yeah, then we can turn our attention to Central at McMinn. McMinn leads that series 4-2. Do the Tides turn at all?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Central. They're my number 9 team. They're my number 9 team in my power rankings. McMinn County, number 10.
And you would know that if you subscribed on 5-Star Prep?
Absolutely. McMinn County has jumped into the rankings for the first time this week. They're led by Camden Goforth, a West Virginia offensive line guy. He's 3 or 4 time All-Stater.
Nice,
But again, they have a running back who's 1,000-yard capable tailback, and they passed for 1,500 yards this year. So strong in the kicking game. This is going to be a tough game, I think, for Central, playing on the road in that environment on a natural grass field and against a physical football team. But I think Central has the playmakers to get it done.
And I think it'll be nice too because it's also a series we've not seen in quite some time either.
It's a fun matchup. Yeah, people are kind of sleeping on that one.
Yeah, and then our last one, we talked about it earlier on what team has the pressure here, and it's HVA and Farragut. Is this Hardin Valley's chance, or is Farragut have the momentum?
They have a chance. They do have a chance to, again, we talked about what their head coach has been able to accomplish at that program and instill in them confidence-wise and effort-wise. You look back to last week's game, Farragut, it was sloppy at times, and I think they still need to clean up some things, but I'm still a believer in Corbin Hobson as their quarterback, and we saw some new guys making big plays for that Farragut offense. Now, I don't know if they're going to dig themselves out of their 0-5 hole like they did a year ago and make the playoffs, but this is certainly a big step towards doing that. So I'll take the Admirals in a close one. They have both teams have really good kickers. It might come down to a kick.
I hope it's a good one. That series needs to have some good games in it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you missed anything, make sure you go back, watch the interview with Deshaun Bishop, and in the meantime, before you see you on next Wednesday, make sure you subscribe to 5starpreps.com for all the content on high school football. We'll see you next week.
This is the Walk-Thru, powered by F Elite Sports Training. Train like a pro. Your all-access pass to the biggest games, hottest stories, and everything high school football in East Tennessee. From the Friday night lights to the chase for championships, we bring you the stars, the headlines, and every heart-pounding moment. So strap on that chin strap and get ready. Jesse, Paige, and the 5-Star Preps team are here with the most complete high school football coverage in the state. This is the Walk-Thru.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.